Hi all, this is just a video on removing the spark plugs from the ZZR1400. This is a 2012 model. It's quite a job. It takes quite a bit of time, particularly for someone like me who's never done anything like this before. I don't have a particularly mechanical mind, and nor do I really get too involved in too much mechanical stuff, but it does cost quite a bit of money if you were taking it particularly to a dealer to get this done. And when looking through the instructions onto the main sort of service manual, it didn't actually look like it was too technical, more fiddly than anything. So I'm quite lucky I don't commute on the bike. I really only use it in good weather, so it kind of sits around the garage quite a bit. So as I had a bit of time off, I thought I'd get into it. So as you can see, the bike is stripped of the fairing panels. You have to remove the fuel tank cover first, at which point then I did the air filter, which was really filthy, so I'm glad I did that. Once that's away, you take away the fairing inset panels on the side here. Then comes away the black inset side panels, and then comes the fairing away. The fairing comes away with the top piece and the bottom piece, as you can see here. No need to undo the bottom. In fact, you can't do that because the fixings of the bottom piece are actually inside the top fairing. So that all comes together with one bit, with one of those push-out rivets to keep the two centre pieces together. Once you've got all that, you can see on the left-hand side here that it's really quite inaccessible. The plugs are just in through here. I'll see if I can get you a better look. I've actually removed one of them. I don't know if I can really show you that, but yeah, there's number one. That's looking as you're sitting on the bike facing forward. That's onto the left-hand side, and then if you come around to the other side of the bike, you'll get access to the other plugs from. I'm sorry about this. The light that I have isn't fantastic. You can see as you get in there, there's not a lot of finger space, so it really is quite awkward. So to get access to them, no matter what you do, it's limited, and it's a lot of fiddling, a lot of small movements, and a lot of knuckle scraping, I'm afraid. But it's just one of those things. It takes time. You just have to be quite patient with it. So on the right hand side of the bike, where you'll get access to the plugs 2, 3 and 4, just remove this bracket on the right hand side here, which has the connection to the idle valve. So remove that, remove the hoses to the idle valve there, and move that out of the way. Once all that's out of the way, then you've got good access then into the remaining 3 spark plugs. It does mention that you should also take out the air switching valve. Can you see that through there? I've taken the connector plug off. You don't need to do that. That is a mighty fiddly job, and you simply don't need to do it. Take the connector off the side, move that out of the way, and then you've got the room enough to get those coils off. So it says in the manual, take the air switching valve out, but before you do that, take the idling valve out. Well, idle valve, yes, because that will give you the room to get access. The air switching valve, don't bother. Take the connector off and you'll have plenty of access. This is what the coils look like when they're out of the bike. Very long, project way into the cylinder head. They say don't prise these out because you can damage them, but I've had to just put a little a driver just underneath there, just to prise it out slightly, just to break the connection, and then to lift it out. They say they don't recommend doing it, but I don't think there's another way of getting them out, to be honest with you. And I'd like to see a Kawasaki mechanic do it another way. But that's how you do it. So there's 4 of those, obviously. Punch those out, and then you'll be able to get access to your plugs. Apparently, the plug spanner that comes with the kit in the Kawasaki toolbox is sufficient, but mine obviously looked like it got swapped out, because that is definitely not it. So I have a friendly mechanic up the road who's going to come down with a box spanner set, and he's going to get the plugs out for me. We'll put some new plugs back in, and then we'll put all back together, and then she's good to go. So hopefully that helps. I haven't showed you how to get those plugs out particularly. I think there are plenty of videos out there showing that that I've seen. A particularly good one I think comes up when you do a search, but that was I think on a 2011 model. This 2012 model's got a couple of extra bits and pieces on it, so I thought that would be useful to show you. So there you are then. I hope that helps, and thanks very much for watching.